with these slides. So again, I'm Lori Sine. I'm the Career Services Manager for the School of Pharmacy, and we are starting our 10-day handshake challenge to get your profile started. And rather than really, the purpose of this really is to, rather than spending, hour, 2 hours trying to accomplish all of your profile features, we're going to take it little by little. So let's spend small steps over the next 10 days to get you ready. And really what you'll walk away with today is an action item that follows the Handshake's 10-day profile challenge blog, as well as an added value item. So this is an extra that I'm going to give you based on the career coaching tip or an extra tip for that profile. Day one, your action item for today, so spend it either while we're on this virtual remote seminar today, spend that time activating your Handshake profile, or just a few moments, after we finish up together today, go in and activate your profile. That is the action item, the challenge for today. You could activate your profile through your PC or through the computer by going to CUPharmacy.joinhandshake.com. You can also activate your profile by taking out your mobile device, your camera, and just hovering your camera over this QR code that's on the screen. I'll give you a moment, if you do have your phone and your camera available and you'd like to do this, to take that camera, hover over the QR code, and you'll get an instant notification that pops up on your phone. And you tap that notification that pops up, and you'll be able to access your profile. So 2 ways to get into your profile today to activate it. One is to go through just the URL, CUPharmacy.joinhandshake.com, or your mobile device. You can also download the app. So Handshake has an app at the App Store for iPhones or Apple devices, or Google Play as well for Android app. And this will allow you to conveniently access job postings, to connect to peers, other PharmD students across the country at other universities, to connect to employers, and all the other features that we'll get through in the next 10 days of Handshake. So you can actually have this readily available on your phone. Because we're focusing on the profile today, I just want to give a few screenshots of what this is going to look like for you. So you may have already gone through this process. If you did register for this event, I appreciate it. You've already activated your profile because you have gone through Handshake, set up and confirmed your profile in Handshake, and actually registered for the event. If you haven't and you're joining just through that Zoom link, that's perfectly fine. I do encourage you to then take this action item and activate your profile. So you'll see one of 3 screens when you first log in. It depends on which URL you're going to use. So if you use that CUPharmacy.joinhandshake, you're going to see one of these 2 screens where either you're being asked to sign in as a student and choosing the university. So this is where you're going to choose University of Colorado Anschutz campus. Now note that this is a different Handshake instance than the other University of Colorado campuses. So CU Boulder, CU Denver, Colorado Springs, they all have their separate instance of Handshake. So it's very important that you're choosing the Anschutz campus as your university. It's also very important that you're using your school email. So using that cuanschutz.edu domain is absolutely critical, because what we've done is we've already pre-populated your profile for you. So all you're doing is confirming and activating it. If you did use that QR code, you may have been sent to a screen that looks like this. Again, you are typing in your .edu email into this screen here. Regardless of which screen you are using, it will eventually take you to this profile screen where you are confirming your single sign-on password. So this is where we've already pre-populated. We want you to be able to have the convenience of using one password, one login information for all of your major platforms that you use for the school. And Handshake will be no different. So you are utilizing the same password credentials that you use when you claimed your CU Anschutz email, if you are an incoming student, or if you are a current and existing student, it's the same password credentials that you would use to log into Canvas or your other platforms for the school. So right here, you are using that single sign-on and typing in your credentials. I did see a question come through the chat. Thank you for that. I will answer it here in a moment as we get towards the end. So after you have signed in, used that single sign-on option, you will now be able to access your profile. This is the landing screen of what it looks like when you are coming into your Handshake profile. As you can see, you have many features and options. You can search jobs, employers, connect to a community. You can search career paths based on your interests and register for events, similar to the career event that's happening today with Handshake. You can also go to your career center and you can look at a number of resources that are published that I've basically curated or created over the years to help direct students towards ways that they can get involved to gain experience in pharmacy school, ways that they can prepare for residency, ways that they can prepare for fellowship opportunities, or employment opportunities. So there's a number of curated and published articles in the resource section at that career center. You can also schedule an appointment, a career coaching appointment with me at any time to troubleshoot anything with Handshake, with your profile, or any career-related questions, planning, job searching, etc. So today, again, there's so much to do in Handshake. We're taking it little by little. We're focusing on your profile. So go ahead, when you land at this screen, you're gonna select My Profile. So you'll tap your picture at the right-hand corner of your screen when you're activated and select My Profile. Some top tips. So these are the extras, right, that we've activated. I've showed you the screens that you're going to sign in on and activate using single sign-on credentials. And now that extra value added, we're going to get into some profile tips. You really want to make sure that you're using your preferred name. Your preferred name, the one that you introduce yourself by. So my legal documents say that my first name is Lauren Sign. I go by Lori. So this is a difference of the way I introduce myself and the difference in how people would search to connect to me. So you can edit your profile name to use your preferred name. And I really recommend that you do this so that it's really, representative of how you introduce yourself and your identity. Make your profile complete. You want to aim for a complete profile, 100%. There's going to be a completion bar on your profile that I'll show you in just a moment. And it starts off about 15% complete, maybe 10% complete. And as soon as you activate, and you want to get that profile up to 100% complete. After it's 100% complete, make it public. This is where you will have the opportunity to connect to employers, where employers can find you based upon a skill search, based upon experience search. So if an employer is specifically looking for specific skills related to a job that they're hiring for, they're going to do a search in Handshake, and your profile will pop up if your profile is complete and public. So it is important that you make it public if you want to be found by others. You can also be found by other peers across the country. So peers within Anschutz's medical campus, both at our nursing program, at our public health programs, at our graduate school. All the other students who are using Handshake at our campus will be able to find you, in addition to other pharmacy schools across the country. If someone's coming out to ask questions about your experiences, you will have that opportunity to engage with other people only if your profile is public. So the steps here to do this is to click your name on that drop down at the right corner and select settings and privacy. You can then go ahead and make that profile preference visible and public to others. So profile visibility to employers, you'll check that to allow employers to be able to find and view your profile. You also have then that option for other students. So just a real quick back look at this. You're going to click your right hand top corner of your profile page, and there is a settings and privacy. So my profile allows you to edit features in your profile. Settings and privacy allow you to then make your profile visible to others. And lastly, this value added, once you're into your profile section, you'll be able to upload your CV to complete your profile faster, add a picture, and complete all the various sections of your profile. This is what we're going to talk about in the next 9 days to really uncover each feature. I would also like to encourage you, as kind of a last minute tip here, is to complete the My Journey section. The My Journey section really talks about who you are. It's just an introduction of you and what's brought you to pharmacy school or where you're at today, kind of why you're using Handshake. So it might start off with a little bit of who you are, maybe 4 to 5 sentences max, just one short paragraph that talks about some traits or strengths that you use every day and that really relate to why you are so passionate about pharmacy. Maybe you're targeting certain areas of pharmacy practice or clinical interest. Just why you got into pharmacy, especially for incoming pharmacy students. Why did you get into pharmacy, and relating some traits to that? And then talk about something that you've done to show some evidence of the strengths and traits that you've mentioned and the experiences that you've used that really show that you are passionate about pharmacy. So encourage you to complete this section and activate your Handshake profile on day 1 of the 10-day Handshake challenge. Tomorrow, we're going to start reviewing the CV and resume portion of Handshake. So that concludes day 1. Hope that was within 10 minutes. I did see that question come through the chat, so I'm going to take a moment to review that and answer questions. If you have any questions at this time, please add them into the chat or take yourself off of mute to ask your question. Okay, so a question just kind of about the next 9 days. Will the sessions take place at the same time for the next 9 days? And yes, they will. So every day up until the 29th, they will take place at 12 o'clock noon sharp. And we'll, again, allow a little bit of time for people to join, but please join back tomorrow on day 2 for the Handshake Challenge at noon. A couple other questions are coming in. Are employers on Handshake verified as real? That's a wonderful question. Yes, there are a lot of measures that go into place to ensure that these are legitimate employers, not fraudulent employers. Because Handshake has such an extensive network of universities and colleges across the country, there's actually what's called a trust score. And we're, as a profession, as a career centers, profession, we are able to go in and make comments and review those trust scores so that other individuals know the validity of each employer who's requesting access into our Handshake instance. So I actually read a statistic earlier that, out of I'm trying to remember the exact number. It was thousands of job postings, over 100,000 job postings, in several years now, because Handshake's been one of the preferred career platforms for over a decade. This has been only 75 fraudulent jobs and employers on Handshake. So they very much do their due diligence and have mechanisms in place so that we can alert each other across the country of a fraudulent employer and make sure that the validity is great for our students. As a student, you'll also have the opportunity to make comments about your experiences. So if you have an internship with a certain employer and it was a wonderful experience, you have that opportunity to go in and give that review so that other students across the country can see that. If it was a negative experience, you have that same opportunity to alert your peers of that experience. So this is a two-way communication street where Handshake really wants students to be in charge of allowing their experiences and their voice to come through. And that helps with employers really respecting the process and making sure that students are given all the opportunities in a very fair and equitable experience from the moment that they apply through their experience, whether it be an internship or a shadowing experience, whatever that might look like. Thank you for the question. Wonderful. Well, that's our time for today. It doesn't look like any other questions are coming through. I hope to see you at noon tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Bye.